straight doo-doo.
Hey, welcome to the Wisniewski Report. Lou, James, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
I want to apologize about last week, but things just got hectic around here with the emergency with my wife.
Of course.
We both were just exhausted,
Yeah.
but I'm recovered though.
Very
But,
good. Very good recovery.
I want to thank y'all for y'all's prayers and support. It really meant a lot to me and my wife.
Of course.
No, it really did.
We got your back. You got your back and you got ours.
Because it was scary there for a while. Really, it was.
Sounds like when I had my gallbladder out.
It was scary. But this is the season premiere show.
Season 2 or 3.
Last year was a great year for the show. I'm hoping this year will be even better. But
better. 2024 has a lot of stuff going on. We got the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Olympics.
And actually in July. July and August. Yeah.
Yep.
We got the Olympics coming in. We got the NFL Combine. We got the draft.
Next month. We got the draft. We got March Madness.
So there's going to be a lot to talk about in the coming months.
Certainly.
And not to mention, in March is the premiere of that other league that me and Lou really don't care much for.
I do. I care about
What's that?
The UFL.
Oh, that. You mean the Useless Football League. I mean the United Football League. Yuck.
Lou, it's football. You should love it.
Spring football does not work in this country, man. Has anybody learned since 1974? Spring football doesn't work.
Lou, and it's how we got our kicker. If that league wasn't available, we would still be in kicking woes.
Yeah, but also remember that thanks to this merger, you lost 2 teams. Now you're just down to 8. You had 10 in both leagues. Now you shrunk it.
This is temporary. I think that they're going to expand, but
yeah,
think it'll last that long?
Mm-hmm. I truly do.
With them merging, I think it's going to be better because you got more backers backing it up. I mean, you got the Dwayne the Rock Johnson backing it.
You got
And we are,
Moose.
we all
You got
know-
Moose Johnston.
Daryl Johnson, yes.
Uh-huh.
So we got all these great people backing it.
Yeah. Well, I guess in this case, it was broken and needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
That's the way I got to put it. That's the way I got to put it. Because if it's not broken, you don't fix it. But in this case, you did.
That's true.
Yes.
Well, instead of those two leagues, which they kind of overlap each other, it was better for them to merge.
Right. Because it was kind of confusing. You know, one plays from February
Right.
to May, and then the other starts from
Right.
April to July, and then by the time that's over, it's just 2 weeks of training camp with the NFL.
And dude,
No, I agree. I agree 100%. But today's show will be loaded with a lot of content. So hang on to your seat, buckle them seatbelts.
We'll give you 2 minutes to do it.
Hey, 10 minutes, we'd be halfway through the show by this.
watch out,
Wow.
watch out, lose driving. We're gonna crash.
I can't drive 55, okay? Oh no.
Make sure-
Oh.
And make sure you have your airbags on too. Morant to have season-ending surgery on his shoulder. This had returned.
Yeah, he just came back too.
Right.
So we see what happens there. Y'all know how I have how I give out the dumbest awards.
Yes.
This right here gets my dumb award.
How dumb is it?
How stupid can this be? Okay, Draymond Green has been reinstated.
Yes, that's idiot number 1 of the week.
This is a pure joke.
I think it's about money. Honestly, it's about money.
It is mostly
Because
and his reputation.
what reputation? He doesn't have one.
Well, still, I mean, he does, because he's a showman, he's the clown, and wants to be the entertaining one of the whole group. So, you had to factor that in too. I mean, he's a schmuck to begin with, though, but still.
He's an idiot.
Exactly. Now, here's the question for y'all.
Uh-huh.
How long will he last this time before he does something to injure someone or put a worse poop stain on the league?
I give him less than a week.
He's not going to last through the season, I can tell you that.
If he lasts the whole season, something is wrong with NBA.
Somebody needs to put him on a leash.
2 leashes.
Hey, I don't even think a leash would help him.
2 leashes minimum.
So are we leasing?
2 leashes and a muzzle.
Yes.
I got one better than that. Put him in a kennel.
Look.
Juan Leonard for 3 years. Are y'all ready for this? $153 million.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Hey, I'd be happy with just half of that.
Yeah,
I think you'd be happy with about a percent.
A tenth.
25. I'll take 25%.
I'll take a tenth.
Yeah.
I take 5% of that.
Let's not go cheap, guys. Let's not go too cheap.
153 million? There ain't no going.
If you're only taking a small percentage of it, that's going cheap. I'll take at least 25%.
I'm sure since he's in California, there's going to be a lot of taxes on that too.
Oh,
So is New York.
You ain't kidding. People think, oh, well, look at all that money he's making for playing pro ball. Yeah. Uncle Sam's there holding his hand out like, hey, I want my share.
And his agent.
What if you go play in those states that, have state taxes like California, New York,
Florida.
Florida doesn't have it.
Oh, that's right. Florida doesn't have it.
Texas
and
doesn't.
not to mention his agent. You know, his agent's going to be standing there with his hands out.
Duh.
But
tells you.
It's like robbing the bank and then having to pay it back.
Exactly.
Well, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, having an agent that can get you a good deal is worth the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, if you spend, you know, you got to make money. You spend money to make money. And I think, you know, 90% of us out here don't know how to read a contract.
No, we don't.
Don't know how to set up an LLC. Don't know how to.
But how do you spend what you don't have?
That's what I'm saying is that's why you hire an agent, is to get you to make to get you a deal, to get you the deal you want, you know, and you spend that money on him, that 3 to 5% or whatever it might be on your agent. Yeah, he's gonna get a cut, but it's money well spent because he's gonna get you a better, you know, he's gonna get you better perks. You know, maybe it's you know, because contracts aren't necessarily all about money. It can be about getting, you know, future incentives, like prospects to owning part of the team. You know, all kinds of crazy stuff that an agent can get you.
Endorsements.
Definitely
endorsements. Shoot, let's just go off the fly. Ohtani, when he signed that huge deal with the Dodgers for $700 million, he's only going to get $20 million now. He doesn't get the $680 until like 2034.
What do you mean only $20 million?
Huh?
What do you mean only $20 million? That's a lot of money.
I know, but I'm saying he only gets $20 million of the $700.
Ah, poor guy. How's he going to live off that? I guess he only can get 3 houses.
He gets it. You know how much money he makes in endorsements?
Yes.
$2.
It comes from. Most of it comes from endorsements anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
See, if you get endorsed outside of California.
I think that's my windows open.
Okay. Don't you just let live stream with all the technology, with all the tech problems? But here's your standing as of on the 9th of this month. At 28-8. The Bucks at 25-12. 23-12. The Heat at 21-15. Magic 21-15. The Pacers at 21-15. Cavaliers at 21-15.
Yes.
Lou, you're a Knicks fan, right?
Correct.
They're also at 21-15.
Wow.
It could be a little bit better, but you know, it's a decent record at least. At least you're not like some teams from say San Antonio and Detroit. Yeah.
Oh, those are horrible. Yeah.
True, very true.
3-33 at this time of the year. That is pathetic.
How are you going for records, man?
The Bulls are at 17-21. And the New York Nets are at 16-21.
Yeah.
So the Nets are at the bottom in the basement right now, so to say.
Yeah.
That's just in the playoff contenders. Yeah,
that's the top of the basement.
Yeah.
Well, that's the top of the basement. They're in that furnished basement.
Yeah, they're at the top of the stairs.
There you go. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, they got a couch down there. Yeah, the studs might still be sticking out, right? But they got room to improve, and they're not in the crawl space under the basement.
Right.
Someone send Benny Can someone send Betty the link? She just said it's not working.
You just gotta click it again.
Yeah,
It does change. You gotta.
Oops.
Timberwolves are at 25-10.
Yep.
The Nuggets at 26-12. I'm sorry, I missed one. Thunder's at 24-11.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Nuggets at 26-12. The Clippers at 23-13. The Kings are at 21-14. Mine and James's Mavericks are at 22-15. They could do a lot better, but with Luka having those injuries, I think that had a lot to do with it. The Pelicans are at 22-15. The Suns are at 19-18, 17. The Lakers are 18-19.
So much for the NBA Cup.
I agree, Lou. So much for that cup.
Yeah, but they'll still keep it anyway. Yeah, please.
It's not even half full.
NHL.
Now an attitude like that.
I might have known.
NHL Eastern Conference. The Bruins are at 24-8-7 with 55 points.
Yeah.
Lou's New York Rangers are at 26-11-2 with 54 points. So they're 1 point behind the Bruins. Let's just see if the Rangers can catch the Bruins.
It can be done.
1 point with more than 50 games to go.
Yes.
But hey, sitting at second with only 1 point separating the two, anything can happen.
Right.
In January? Hell yeah.
Panthers are 25-12-2, and they're 3 points behind the lead.
Yeah.
So your top three are Bruins, Rangers, and Panthers.
Okay.
Wait, Bruins have how many points again?
55.
The Bruins
One
are
point. Big deal.
the Rangers are at 54.
Okay.
The Panthers are at 52. So it's
Three so far.
It's between 1 and 3 points separating the number one spot.
Yeah.
And you can find 3 points.
Yeah. Especially with how many more games left? 50 games left?
Around 50, yes.
A little bit. Yeah,
That's
around 50.
That's a win. That's a win and a tie.
Yep.
The Hurricanes are at 22-13-5 with 49 points.
Mm.
Now you're starting to get.
The Maple Leafs are at 20-10-7, 47 points. The Islanders are at 18-11-10 with 46 points.
Rest in peace, Eric.
The Flyers are at 20-6 with 46 points.
Mm-hmm.
The Devils are at 21-15-2 with 44 points.
It's not that bad, Diane.
Yeah, well.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, I'm just going to say so much overreaction in the first week of the season when the Devils were. No.
Yeah.
Now, here's your Western Conference. We got the Jets at 25-9-4 with 56 points.
Wow.
The Canucks at 26-11-3, and they're 1 point away from catching the Jets.
Those
The
Canadian
Avalanche.
Those Canadian
The Avalanche is 26-12-3, and they're also 1 point behind taking over that first spot.
Close race.
Very, very close. our Dallas Stars are 23-11-5, 51 points. So
5 points. That's doable.
the top, they're still a race in the top. Hey, the Golden Knights, even don't count the Golden Knights out. They're 23-12-5 at 51.
Right.
So any one of those top 5 teams, the Jets can keep it, or any of those other 4 teams can come back and take it.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I'm kind of disappointed though in the Blackhawks this year because, of course, their so-called once-in-a-generational talent star, he's out with an injury, and the Blackhawks are really counting him to carry this team through this year, and they haven't done anything. In fact, they're worse than last year.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about that though.
Okay.
I mean, this is where Pittsburgh and Washington were 25 years ago now, or 20 years ago now.
Right.
And it's not a quick turnaround. It's very rare. It's very rare that you have a team go from the basement to the penthouse.
Right.
In a single season. And Bernard's hurt now. And that's going to stunt his development. And the other thing is that Chicago's got to start bringing in pieces. They've got to get young. They've got to shed cap, get young, get more than Bedard. Because it wasn't until Malkin got there that Crosby was worth a damn. Oh, Ovi needed Kuznetsov. He needed Oshie. He needed pieces around him to get going. And so it's going to take some time. And Chicago's going to have to be patient. And is it disappointing that Bedard's out right now? Yeah, of course. Obviously, you want him playing. You want him playing, getting experience, learning the NHL game, learning the speed. But Chicago, as long as Bedard comes back and can stay healthy, they should be all right. And then they continue to develop, continue to build.
Exactly. The Kings are at 20-10-6, 46 points. The Predators at 22-17-1, 45 points. The Oilers at 20-15-1, 41 points. So they're, like Adam was saying, they're in that furnished basement. They're coming. They're at the bottom of the stairs, trying to make their way up.
Yeah.
So, it's still early in the season.
Yeah, we're not even to the All-Star break yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
And hockey.
Go ahead, Adam.
Hockey's a fickle game. Hockey's a game of streaks. Hockey's a lot like basketball in that regard. You can get hot for 2 weeks and win 8 out of 10. Then you go cold and lose 4 out of 5.
Exactly.
It's what you do. It's what you do when you're down. When you've lost 3 in a row, can you stop the bleeding, win a couple, go on a little winning streak, win 4 out of 5, win 5 out of 7, win 8 out of 12, and how can you come back and take teams to overtime to get that cheat point, to give yourself, even if you lose, and that's how hockey is unique in that way, which is one thing I love about hockey, is the fact that you can steal a point. You gotta be down 3-1 in the third period, score a couple goals, get back in it, take it to overtime. Yeah, you might lose in overtime, but you stole that point. And so Boston loses. If Boston and New York lose, the Panthers pick up a win. Even though Boston and New York both took it to overtime, Panthers pick up a point on both of them with a win. So it's such a unique system where in basketball it's the best record. You have more wins than losses. In baseball, more wins than losses. In football, more wins than losses. And that's all that matters.
And also, I'm glad you brought that up because let's look at the NFL real quick before we move on. Look at the Eagles. They were doing so good, and all of a sudden they went down. They went on that downward spiral.
Downward spiral.
and they couldn't never get back up to where they started.
And
also the 49ers, they had that 3-game losing streak, but at least they were able to rebound and come back from that.
As of right now, but it's a whole new season though.
But
no more garbage games.
But in the playoffs, you can take the stat sheets, rip them up, throw them in the trash.
This is a whole new season.
Because these teams that played crappy in the regular season, just to make it to the playoffs, they can play spoilers.
And
they can be like, oh well, we don't have a chance to make the NFC Championship game, but we're gonna make it to where this other team can't make it neither.
Yeah.
Knock them out, then move on to the next team. And what's not to say, they can get beat.
Yeah, look, and at this point, it's everyone's back to 0. It's a 0-0 record,
Exactly.
and you got 4 games to prove that you belong.
Yeah.
And
okay, here's your college top 25. Can y'all guess who number 1 is?
Michigan.
I'll give you a hint.
oh, this is basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, basketball.
It's Purdue then.
Purdue.
Yep. Number 2 is Houston. Number 3 is
Really?
Yeah. Number 4 is UConn. That's a shocker.
UConn's good.
UConn's always good.
Number 5 is Tennessee. 6 is
Okay.
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
7 is UNC. 8 is Arizona. 9 is Oklahoma. 10 is Illinois. 11 is Marquette. 12 is Duke. Which we knew that Duke was a great basketball school.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
They're better in basketball than they are football.
Duke football is atrocious.
The ACC is known for basketball.
13 is Memphis. 14 is Baylor. 15 is Wisconsin. 16 is Auburn. 17 is Colorado State. 18 is BYU. 19 is SDSU, whoever they are.
San Diego State.
Was it San Diego State?
San Diego State University.
Okay. 20 is Utah. 21 is Clemson. 22 is Creighton. 23 is Gonzaga. 24 is Florida Atlantic. And rounding out the top 25 is my Longhorns.
Hey, the one.
Hey, you actually got Gonzaga right this time.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy with the 25th ranking, but hey, at least we're in the top 25.
Yeah.
I'm the team that I don't want.
Also January.
The team that I don't want to play right now is Seton Hall.
Oh no!
Thank you.
Seton Hall beat knocked out. Seton Hall has won 3 ranked games in a row, including knocking off Marquette.
Yes.
Seton Hall
is hot right now.
A dangerous team right now.
is going to be the team to beat in March Madness.
Yes.
I think Seton Hall is going to be a tough out. I wouldn't want to catch them in the first round as a 10 seed. If I'm 7 and they're 10, I don't want to play them. If I'm the 8 and they're the 9, that's a scary matchup for any 8 in the country right now.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be a damn tough out.
Exactly. See, let's say, let's take this for example. Let's say if Gonzaga is the number 8 seed and Seton Hall's number 7. That's not going to be a match for Seton Hall.
Yeah.
If I'm the Seton Hall's if Gonzaga's the 8, I don't want to play. If I'm Gonzaga as an 8, I don't want to play Seton Hall. Seton Hall is they're so hot right now. They're so hot right now.
That's That's gonna be like bending them over and spanking them.
I don't think. I think it'd be close. I think it'll be good. It'll be a great basketball game. I think Seton Hall gives Gonzaga everything they can handle and more. I don't think Seton Hall will run away with it. I don't think it'll be like 87-61. I think it'll be like 72-69. Nice.
Game, fellas. Very interesting game.
Okay.
We'll just see where everything's lining up.
Yeah, where everything shakes out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best part about. I love March Madness. March Madness is the best playoff in the country. March Madness is the best playoff in the country, and the Stanley Cup Finals is the best finals in the country.
Okay, I just lost it. Women's basketball. Number 1 is South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is UCLA. Number 3 is Iowa. 4 is Baylor. 5 is Colorado. 6
Caitlin
is
Clark.
State. 7 is LSU. 8 is Stanford. 9 is USC. 10 is Texas. 11 is Virginia Tech. 12 is Kansas State. 13 is UConn. 14 Indiana. 15 Louisville. 16 is Gonzaga. 17 is Ohio State. 18 is Notre Dame. 19 Utah. 20 UNC. Where did I leave off at? Okay. Number 21 is Florida State. Number 22 is Creighton. 23 is Marquette. 24 is West Virginia. 25 is UNLV.
Mm.
So that's
Lady Rebels.
That's a great top 25.
For the women, yeah.
You know, I'm happy with the women's basketball team. I'm happy with number 10.
Yeah, at this point in the season, like we were talking about with the men's, there's still so much season to go. You still got a month and a half before the tourney. I'm not going to be.
They just started conference play, so I'm telling you, by next month you'll start seeing teams either move forward or pull away.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not going to get too up in my feels right now.
We'll see
if I'm
truly in on the bubble, and then who's out, or who's not even going to be close.
This is,
and I'm not going to.
It's still up in the air.
It's too early to get up in my feels about the basketball team. Plenty of time to get it right. Plenty of time to go on a 10-game win streak. And go from being 6-9 to 16-9 with 4 games left. Rip off a couple of wins, get to 18-11, and go win a tournament and get the automatic bid.
Exactly.
Plenty of time to.
You could be the crappiest team all year, go into the tournament, win an automatic bid, and you're in. It doesn't matter how you did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'll be 16-15 all year long. Be floating right around 500. Make the tournament. Make the conference tournament. Go win the conference tournament. Bang. We got ourselves a game.
The Senior Bowl coming up. This is one game I look forward to because we get to see how good these seniors are going to be, and it's a good way for scouts to see what players are going to work on their team and what's not, and who they want to draft. But hey, it's going to be a great game
because the NFL coaches actually coach these teams. And so you'll be able to see they'll be able to interact with the players and then the coaches as well,
and see how they get along with the coaches and
right.
Check out So I can't wait for that game, but it's going to be the 3rd of February.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the day before the Pro Bowl.
How much? Pro Bowl. Okay.
Okay.
For the Pro Bowl.
They have totally ruined the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl wasn't ruined.
Pro Bowl's been
The Pro Bowl was useless.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's fine. What's next? They gonna have ballet dancing at the Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Far more entertaining.
Right.
Don't knock it. Some of them dancers, man. You know, ballroom dancing. I didn't see Emmett Smith, man. He can dance.
The only part of the Pro Bowl that I like right now is the skill challenge part.
Oh yeah, I like that part. That should be a thing.
You know,
I understand that, but
yeah, I think they should just. What I would do if I was the NFL is instead of doing a game, right? I would just have a big party. Just throw a party. Do all of your awards at that time. The award ceremony should be the day before the Super Bowl or the week before the Super Bowl, right? You know, have an all-day party celebrating the NFL, celebrating the best players. Do some meet and greets. Do some signings for kids. Let it be a party. Have fans pay tickets. 70,000 of your closest friends. Set up.
And also let these NFL players, go out there and throw the football with the kids.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Have a party. Maybe instead of some of the play 60 stuff, bring in the best play 60. Bring in some of the middle schoolers from around the country, fly them in, and just throw a big party and celebrate the NFL with its fans. Let the let the players that want to come out. I get it. I get it.
Hey, didn't NFL 60 actually replace the NFL punt, pass, and kick?
Yes.
It was involved. The punt, pass, and kick involved in the play 60 stuff.
Yeah, I mean it should have automatically just been that,
But yeah, I agree.
But let the kids go out there and spin it with some of their favorite players. Let some I get it. It's a long season. It's a grind. And sometimes you just want to break. Especially if you just gotten your balls kicked in the championship game, and the last thing you want to do is go think about playing another. The last thing you want to do is go out there and play a meaningless game for no money, for nothing, for no pride, not to represent the AFC or the NFC. Why not just throw a party?
They get money, all right.
But it's not. Yeah, okay, so you split $1 million with 53 other guys, plus all the training staff and the coaches. Whoop-de-doo-da-day. It's like $250 at the end of the day. It's nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless there's something I don't know, unless everybody gets $1 million, but that's $53 million. That's not the NFL. I don't see the NFL giving away $53 million for what is essentially a charity event.
Exactly.
And for me, I think it would be, because I understand 30, 40, 50 years ago, back in the 70s, when if you wanted to see Bart Starr play, or Terry Bradshaw, if you didn't live in, let's say you guys are from Dallas, and y'all root for the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. And, 40 years ago, Lou, you live in New York, so the only way to see the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Not bad. Maybe a highlight on the local news at 9 p.m. or 11 p.m. on a Sunday night, or reading the box score. So I understand, back in the 70s, seeing Terry Bradshaw and help me here with some 70s guys. Bradshaw and
Staubach.
Staubach, that's the one I was looking for. Franco Harris, Staubach, Mean Joe,
Jethro, what was Jethro's last name, the one that played for the Cowboys? Dupree.
Tupelo Jones, the Purple People Eaters. I can understand back in the 70s, when if you were from Minnesota, I'm from Detroit, and from being from Michigan, if I, back in the 70s, if I want to eat it, now if I want to see the Lions, I just pay for a ticket or I go to the bar. And back in the 70s, if I moved from Detroit to Tennessee, watching that game, seeing my Lions play wasn't possible. So if I wanted to see the Lions, if I wanted to see my favorite Lion, it's really cool to have an All-Star game, to have a Pro Bowl. Now, if I want to watch the Lions, I just fire up the TV. I can go get Red Zone and watch every score from every team on every game. So I just don't see the point of having a Pro Bowl.
Mizzou extends SEC Coach of the Year.
Okay, he said changing the subject.
Sorry about that. But
well, if you're going to change the subject, that's fine. I understand that. I'm perfectly okay with that. But signal first. Because that was like super abrupt.
Time out on Adam. He gets a 5-second timeout. Travis Helps FSU land quarterback. I'm not going to try his last name.
Okay.
From Ohio State. He was also a former Clemson quarterback.
That DJ Ulavanga?
Something like that. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. It's DJ, right? DJ Ulavanga or whatever, something like that.
Something like that.
He was at Clemson, and then he went to, I want to say, Oregon State.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now he's in Miami.
Now he's going from Oregon State to Florida State.
Florida State. Okay. Well, that's not an upgrade.
No, it's not. Alabama head coach Nick Saban has finally retired.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
There's two teams that knocked him out. Texas and Michigan.
Yeah.
He said,
well,
we got beat and by the Longhorns, and then we lost in the semifinals to Michigan. He's like, nope, I had nothing.
I think there's a lot of things that go into that decision, and I wanted to get into that. You will indulge me. I know I talk a lot, but
he won 7 national titles, 6 with Alabama and 1 with LSU. His overall is 279 wins, 71 losses, and 1 tie.
Outstanding, just outstanding. But I think a lot of it has. I think there's a lot. And there's many factors that go into anyone's decision. But I think the changing landscape, that you're not just going to be able to take the best players and go win championships anymore. And the fact that you're going to have to run a gauntlet. You're not just going to go, you don't just get voted in the best team every year. Because that Alabama team isn't the 4 seed next year. That Alabama team's the 5th seed. Because the Georgia team is better than they are overall. Mm-hmm. Georgia had one bad night last year. They had one bad night in the SEC title game. And next year, it doesn't matter. Next year, they can have a bad night in the SEC title game, and they're still the 4 seed. They go from the 1 to the 4, and Alabama's the 5. Now Alabama's got to go play an extra game. And then they got to win that game, and they got to win the next one, and then they got to win one more. They have to play 3 more games to get a shot at a title. And you don't, and the money that's coming, all the Jesus.
NIL.
Thank you. Stuff that's coming, and the fact that teams are going to be able to pay players, Nick Saban doesn't want any part of that. When it was all hush hush, under the table, when it was all black market stuff, when it was all closed doors and behind the scenes, and Nick Saban could do whatever he wanted and run the dirtiest program in the country, he was all right with it. Now that it's all about for it and anybody can do it, now that fan bases around the country can open up there are plenty of very rich people in very prominent places in Oxford, in Baton Rouge, in Knoxville, in Athens, in Southern California, in Columbus, and they're going to be more than happy to back up a Brinks truck.
No, here's my take on this whole NIL deal. Okay, why should these young men get paid twice for playing football in college? You may stop and ask me why. What do you mean? Okay, they get a college education. They get a college scholarship to play for the university.
Some of them.
And they get the opportunity to be on a winning team.
Unless you're at Vandy.
Yeah, true. But now, this NIL deal, that is the most ridiculous joke. Because it takes the best players. Okay, let's say, for example.
Okay, I'm listening.
Let's say if Arch Manning, okay. Let's say if he wanted to go to Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State, but Texas offered him more of an incentive. That's taking him away from a possible better chance at Ohio State.
But isn't that his right, though? I mean, that's the thing. But think about it this way, right? If he wants to go to Texas, let's say he wanted to go to 5 years ago, he wanted to go to Texas anyway, then it doesn't matter. We're not talking about the kid. We're talking about Arch Manning going from Oxford or Tuscaloosa or Columbus and ending up in Austin. We're not talking about some poor kid. And what about the kids that don't have the opportunity to go to Oxford? What about the kid that goes up the road from his mom and dad and plays at Bowling Green, or plays at Iowa State, or the kid from Idaho, the potato farmer's kid, who gets a scholarship to Michigan, and he gets to go win a national title, and he gets to put his mom and dad in a house for the next 50 years. His mom and dad don't have to worry. It's not just about the now. It's about the future. And all the money that the NCAA is making off the backs of these kids, and all they get is a scholarship, and they're supposed to be happy about it, and they can't go play in a golf tournament and make money off that because that's not amateur athletics. Piss on it.
Who watched the national title game?
Bet your ass I did.
That wasn't much of a game.
Well, I don't watch a game. Did you not watch the game?
But I can tell you one thing.
It took all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Washington played from start to finish.
It took all 4 quarters, and we had to put them away at the end.
But congratulations to the Wolverines. Their first championship since 1997.
Undefeated on the year.
15.
That's all.
And that was,
but I think Texas and Michigan would have been a better game. It would have been a lot closer.
Well, we'll find out. Well, we'll get a version of it in week 2, so you get to see what it might have been like. Get a version of it.
Adam and I are going to be frenemies.
But I want to parlay what we were talking about with the NIL into this championship for Michigan.
Okay, I gotta go do something real quick.
All right, you do that, and I'll I'll hold down the fort, and I'll get the other guy's thoughts here in a second. But no, but to okay, but the NIL and the idea of name, image, and likeness, right? About allowing players to be. See, I don't like the idea of the schools holding the money because I feel like the name and image and likeness, in my ideal world, players are allowed to make money and sign contracts with entities outside of the school. Like if Arch Manning wants to sign a deal with a shoe company to promote their brand while he's at Texas, he should have every right to do that. I don't like this idea. I don't like the idea of schools backing up the Brinks truck for kids and offering them $1.3 million in incentives and other things.
Correct.
That bothers me. But I look at all the money that's in college football. And the NCAA is more than happy to take Nike's money, to take Nike. You know, they're more than happy to take Nike's money, Gatorade's money, and all the other, you know, and all the phone companies and all the car insurance companies. They're more than happy to take all their money. But suggest to the players, the guys out there working and putting out the product, performing in the show, that their only compensation should be the scholarship? No, the scholarship is a bonus. The scholarship, because the thing about it is it's not just football, because we focus on, we get so caught up in football and to a lesser extent basketball. But we all know, like, it was college football's dirty little secret. It was college football's least well-kept dirty little secret that for decades, and this goes back to the Carter administration, for decades, kids have been getting cars and houses and faked papers so they can play. And we're not just talking about football. We're talking about across all sports in this country. Kids have been getting incentives to play. And now they're legal. Now what Reggie Bush did 25 years ago is legal. And the only difference between what Reggie Bush did and what that kid that was at Ole Miss did is Reggie Bush, it just wasn't legal at the time. Now it is. Why was it ever illegal? Amateur athletics, when you have $100 million going into a university for athletics, the term amateur athletics loses all meaning.
Exactly. Does anybody have any comments on that? Okay.
I was really curious to hear what James had to say.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons fired their head coach Arthur Smith after 3 seasons.
About time.
I seen the writing on the walls about this one.
Yeah, and the Falcons haven't done anything, and you know, even though they've been division leaders, the whole division has been a joke. It really has.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans fired head coach Mike Vrabel.
I don't know about that one. That one I wonder about, because I don't think Vrabel's a bad coach. I think they're a bad team. Right. And you can't win without pieces there. Exactly. I mean, you know, I know they weren't good this year, but when Derrick Henry is your only guy, they have no stars on defense, they have no stars on offense, they traded their best player to the Eagles and got nothing for him. The kid they drafted was a pile of dog shit the whole year.
Seattle Seahawks Pete Carroll retires as head coach, but will remain with the team as an advisor.
I think it was time.
Yeah.
I think it was time. I mean, he's not speed racer anymore.
Yeah.
There's so many hot young coaching prospects that are going to be available, and I think that you got to get younger. I think you got to stay hip and relevant. And I'm not saying that Pete Carroll isn't hip or relevant. He's just old. I think Pete Carroll connects with young guys pretty well, but at a certain point, it's like how many times do you want to get up at 5:00 in the morning on March 17th to go to some kid's college pro day because it's what you got to do because it's the job. And now, you got grandkids. In his case, he might have great grandkids or great grandkids. Being as old as he is. Taking a diminished role, not being the head coach. I ain't gonna hate on it. Congratulations. Hell of a coach. Good luck in your future endeavors.
New England Patriots and head coach Bill Belichick agrees to part ways.
Everything I just said.
Anymore.
And Belichick.
Everything
He is the winningest coach in Super Bowl history with 6 wins.
I think isn't he 76?
Either
one of them is.
Or 77.
No, 71. No, 71.
So it's about time that Belichick steps down.
Yeah, I think that was the right time. I just can't see another year like that and he's getting fired. So you might as well go out with grace. And you might as well go out on your own terms, walk away, peace out into the sunset, man. I am not a crook.
Bit of sad news for y'all here, guys. How many of y'all heard about this? Buffalo fan dies after the Buffalo-Miami game.
Yes.
Jimmy, what were the...
This Dolphins fan gets into it with the Buffalo fan. The Miami Dolphin fan pulls a gun and shoots the Bills fan in the head.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I send my thoughts and prayers up to the family that's going through this.
Well,
this shit has to stop.
Yeah, 100%. It makes me,
ridiculous.
And I can tell you, And I can tell you, part of the problem is alcohol at games.
No.
It plays a lot.
I mean, it's just idiots. I mean, we don't know. They're just idiots.
Contribute to it. Alcohol can contribute to it.
No. Because people got into fist fights at college games all the time. In college stadiums across the country, and they keep, on college campuses, you can't sell alcohol, and kids still get into fist fights, still pull guns on each other.
But
I mean, there's high school. No. Hold on. I want to say one more thing.
Back it up.
I want to say, because this happens at high school games. Parents and I go to the local high school game because it's the closest thing to me. I like football. Yeah. And people get into fights at high school games, and there's no alcohol, there's no intoxicants unless you're bringing it in, which I haven't seen. I've been to 2 high school games in the last 3 years, and I haven't seen any containers. But they still get into fights. People still get shot outside of high school games all the time. So you can blame alcohol, but alcohol is only a symptom. It's not the problem. The problem is that we're so invested. We're so invested, and when people say, well, you didn't play, you're not on the team. Yeah, but I care. I'm invested. These kids, these 17, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids out there on that field, for the next 60 minutes, I live or die by what they do on that football field, on that ice, on that court.
Right.
I care. I scream. I yell. It's the passion. Fan is short for fanatic. And you can take fanatics. You put two rival fanatics together, and of course you mix in alcohol. Nothing good's gonna happen. But you don't have to mix in alcohol because we know what happens when you don't. You don't need alcohol to get into a fist fight. We see fist fights before games all the time. And you know, this is out in the parking lot at 2:00 in the afternoon before anybody's even started drinking. People are pulling into the parking lot, and they're getting into fistfights with rival fans because they're assholes.
Speaking of
Yes.
speaking of kids getting shot at high school games, it happened down here in Austin once or twice. At
a couple of times.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't stop there. Remember Talib's brother ended up shooting that guy, that other coach, and Pee Wee.
Yeah, but going to the game
Right here in Texas, like they're fighting over crazy stuff here in Texas. The parents are the worst.
Going to games isn't fun anymore as it once was. I'm hoping.
Well, also,
justice is served for the one who took that guy's life.
and the other thing that the thing that we need to realize is that this isn't anything new. The only reason we didn't hear about it before is because we didn't have the 24-hour news cycle in '95. In 1995, some guy gets shot outside a football game, and it's just a shooting outside a football game. It doesn't make the national news.
True.
And some kid some Washington fan gets shot outside of Veterans Stadium in Chicago in Philly. It's just a shooting in Philly. Nobody says it's because of the game. And because shootings happen all the time all over the place, and not just in this country, but all over the world. People get shot over dumb shit, with or without alcohol. When it comes to that thing, now we have the 24-hour news cycle, we have the internet, and we have such a hyper-focus on sports. And being in this space, the four of us, right, and everyone else that does this, whether professionally or amateurly, we have such a connection to this space that when something happens outside a football game, when two fans get into it, everybody's whipping out their phones and taking videos, because what else can you do? I mean, it's not like it's not like I'm going to break up an altercation between a guy with a gun and a guy without a gun, or even two guys with 4 guns, or one guy with 6 guns.
But yeah, this person that shot that Bills fan, he took it to the lowest level possible.
Mm-hmm.
And
what happened to the good old days when you had a problem with somebody, you went out in your backyard and y'all used these right here, and after it was over with, I got it dusted off.
But even then, it's
body
just
check.
a game. It's just a game.
I'm talking in general.
But we're talking about
went to the bar, bought each other a beer.
But this is nothing new. I mean, we watch Western movies, right? And the showdown at noon, the duel, 15 paces, reach for it. We've done this for time immemorial. We used to shoot each other over the pettiest of petty squabbles.
Exactly.
Aaron Burr, a founding father, a man of honor and a scholar and a gentleman, used to get in duels all the time. Everybody acts like this is something new, something crazy, and the dinosaur novel, the Western that was super popular around the turn of the last century, around like 1903, in the dinosaur novel, and people, and you would think the Wild West was just dudes getting drunk and shooting each other, and that's why we got Prohibition 100 years ago. Is because of the sensational headlines and yellow journalism and And we see that same thing happening now. Everybody's blaming everything, but they're blaming the symptoms. But they're not blaming the cause. The cause is that people are just jerks, and bad people do bad things for no good reason.
But when you add alcohol to it, it makes it worse. Yeah.
But you take alcohol away, and it doesn't make it better.
No, but it doesn't. It decreases the incidence. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, guys, let's move
it
on.
kind of does.
Move on.
It kind of doesn't.
Okay. This is getting a little heated here, so let's move on. Carolina.
No, well, I'm not going to shoot him.
No team
we can have a friendly disagreement. I mean, we can run it down. I mean, it's.
Carolina needs a head coach. I mean, head coach and general manager. Las Vegas,
amongst other things.
Las Vegas needs a head coach and GM. Now,
amongst other things.
The way Vegas played with the interim head coach, I would keep him. I would offer him.
Antonio Pierce.
Huh?
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
And the GM isn't that bad either, but I would bring in candidates just to
the only
made a good choice.
The only one that I think that I would entertain is Jim Harbaugh. That's it. If it's Antonio Pierce, if I can't get Harbaugh, I'm sticking with Pierce. I agree 100%.
But if you bring in Harbaugh, you got to give him some power.
That's true.
And I give him. I mean, look at what he's done. Look, whether it was San Diego or Stanford or San Francisco.
I don't trust Mark Davis.
Well, this is the thing, as I've heard from other people that are familiar with the situation, as Mark Davis, Al, and Jim were really good friends. And he has a good relationship with Mark. If Mark wants to go that route, now this was 3 or 4 months ago, so I don't know where Vegas is at right now, but they got a top 10 pick. He's going to have the pick of his litter. You can move up, you can move down. You can move up and take if you can get Jim, you bring Jim in, keep Jimmy Garoppolo, mortgage the farm, go get Marvin Harrison. Next year, then you go get JJ McCarthy in the draft, bring JJ in, and pair him up with Marvin Harrison. You can take corner him in the late first or in the late or early second round, maybe even late second round. And now you've got Marvin Harrison on the outside, J.J. McCarthy under center, Blake Corum on the backfield. Build out the offensive line. You bring in Jesse Minter because I think Minter goes with Harbaugh. And we saw what Minter's defense did against a future NFL quarterback on Monday night. They had him all kinds of discombobulated. I think it makes sense if you can get it done.
The Chargers, they need a head coach. GM. I've been hearing that that they've been entertaining the offer of giving it to Kellen Moore. If they give it to Kellen Moore, that's going to be a laughing stock of the NFL.
I mean, can't be any worse than the guy they had.
Yeah, really. Because Kellen Moore isn't that great of a coach. He's not even that great of an OC.
No.
Tennessee Titans, they need a head coach. Washington.
I don't even know.
Riverboat Ron played his last ace.
I think it's
like that song by Kenny Rogers, The Gambler.
The Gambler.
Yeah, they don't win to hold them.
Ron didn't know when to hold him, and he didn't find an ace that he could play.
Do you go with Bieniemy?
Huh?
Do you go with Bieniemy? Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah, there you go. But Riverboat Ron, he played all of his aces.
Well, you know what's not a bad job? You know what's not a bad job? Former NFL head coach. It's a pretty good gig. recently fired.
Now maybe Riverboat Ron can start hitting these riverboats down in Louisiana and do some gambling and see if he can get his aces back.
You know. I think if I could pick any job in the world, recently fired NFL head coach would be a good one. A guy like Ron, he's got money, he's got nothing but time. He's been out of the grind. Like I saw one ex-player talking about, being retired. Now he retired at 32, and the hardest thing about retiring for him was finding something to do with his time. I think I would. If I'm Ron Rivera, I'm gonna take the next year off, reset, figure it out from there.
Seattle Seahawks need a head coach. Now, there's rumors going around that it could possibly be Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn wouldn't be my first choice. Wouldn't be my first choice.
Because we all know Dan Quinn has ties to the Seahawks.
If I was Dallas, though, I think about opening up the check for him.
Oh yeah. Because
I also see this as Mike McCarthy's. This is put up or shut up time for Mike McCarthy. These next
If we do not make it to the NFC Championship game, I'm looking for McCarthy to be out.
I agree. I expect McCarthy to be out too.
And I'm looking for Dan Quinn to take over that head coaching job if McCarthy goes.
I very, very. If he doesn't get picked up by Seattle before then, I could very easily see Dan Quinn being moved up, being elevated to head coach.
Because if you remember when McCarthy was out with COVID or the illness or whatever it was, and Dan Quinn stepped in and coached. You seen how the Cowboys were clicking. I mean, they were.
Yeah. Well, let's pump the brakes on that though, because I think a lot of it's kind of that same effect when your best player goes down with injury, and everybody does their job just a little bit better. So, everybody steps up a little bit. They're a little bit more enthused to get out there and do their job. They try a little bit harder. They listen a little bit more in the meetings. So, yeah. I'm not hating on it. I don't want to say that it couldn't work or it won't work. I think it would be a good fit. I think it could be a good fit. He's in the organization. He knows all the players. The big thing is can he find the right pieces? Because I think this is something that a lot of coaches struggle with, especially great coordinators who are bad coaches. As great coordinators are so used to having their hands in the pie crust.
Yeah.
And like a great chef, a great coordinator can't be a great executive, right? Exactly. He can't sit up in the office and do all the ordering, making sure that all the ingredients are in the kitchen. He's got to be in there in the kitchen messing with stuff. He can't trust that he hires the head chef, and he goes up to the office, and every 10 minutes he's down in the office. He's down in the kitchen messing with something, adding something, moving something, pulling something, and he's driving the chef crazy. And I don't know if Dan Quinn can separate himself from the defensive coordinator and not be in the kitchen messing with stuff.
I don't know neither.
Because I think that's a big problem with what happened later on in Atlanta.
Of course, we know the Patriots need a new head coach.
Right.
They need to know everything.
Vrabel.
I've heard Vrabel's tied.
They need to get rid of Mac Jones.
Yeah. I think the jury's. I think the jury's in on Mac Jones, and I think the verdict is guilty of not being an NFL caliber quarterback.
Here is your NFC playoff teams. San Francisco is number one. They clinched the NFC West and home field advantage. Dallas clinches the NFC East. which Adam and I said it was going to be between Philadelphia and Dallas.
I said it too.
And so, it comes down to that every year. You can sit there and make a bet at the start of the season that it's going to be Dallas and Philly battling for the NFC East.
Pretty much right now. I mean, that's what it's been for the last 5 or 6 years. Because New York can't get out of their own way, and Washington is in a swamp. No, I mean literally, it's a swamp.
Congratulations to your Detroit Lions, Adam. They clinched the NFC North, first time since the 1993 season.
Actually, no. This is the first time they've ever won the North. They haven't won the North before.
Yes, they did. Oh, actually, it was the Central back then, but they still won.
Yes, it was. It was the NFC Central. We've never won the North before.
Well,
I was being pedantic. I'm sorry. I had to.
30 years ago, we had 3 divisions. We didn't have this 6 divisions nonsense.
4 divisions.
We need them, though.
Tampa Bay clinches the NFC South, which we knew the NFC South was a dumpster fire.
I'm partial to doing away with divisions, having everybody play each other once, then give your rivals 2 games. You have a home and home. Like let's say Detroit. Detroit plays Green Bay, Chicago, and Minnesota twice, and then they play everybody else once, and then you have because that's 6 games right there, right? Or yes, it would be 6 games, and then you have to find another 11. So you play everybody in your conference, no out of conference games, because there's. And then you play 2 out of conference games, and there you go. And then you rotate those 2 out for conference games every 2 years. So, like, let's say Detroit plays Pittsburgh and the Chargers.
Like that. I like it the way it is.
And then you just take the top 7 and seed them 1 through 7, and let's play some playoff football.
The last 3 is the Eagles, the Rams, and the Packers.
Eagles, Rams, Packers.
The NFC
looks like this. Baltimore clinches AFC North and home field advantage.
Yep.
Buffalo clinches the North. Kansas City clinches the West. Houston finally got it. They won the South. I put that win for Houston. I put that on CJ Stroud. This young man has really came on in his rookie year. That young man was a hell of a pickup for the Texans. But I would say this: the Texans are still a few pieces away from really making it far enough. If they can get a few more pieces, they will. They could make some noise in the playoffs.
I was gonna say. I think the Texans have to make a run this year. I mean, next year they ain't gonna sneak up on nobody. I think this year they got to make a run. I really think that their window of opportunity is this year and only this year. Because I think that after this year, they're in a 3 to 5 year rebuilding process. Because I think they snuck up on a lot of people. I think they snuck up on Jacksonville. They snuck up on Tennessee. They snuck up on Indianapolis. You know, they're not going to sneak up on the league next year. They have 1 year to get it done.
Number 5 is Cleveland. Number 6 is Miami. Number 7 is Pittsburgh.
You gotta respect old man football, man. Joe Flacco.
Final week of the regular season scores coming up. What a awesome season this was.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
We've seen teams that wasn't supposed to win, and teams that wasn't supposed to lose.
Indeed. No, I think this was a high water mark in recent years for the NFL. I know there was some controversy in Dallas and Detroit, but Dan Campbell's a dipshit, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry. You can blame the rest all you want, but what in the sweet Jiminy Christmas were you doing out there, going for two, when you could have tied the game and played in overtime?
Well, it shouldn't ever came to that point anyway. It shouldn't ever come to that point anyway.
I blame that move.
They messed up on the tripping call.
I blame that right there on Dan Campbell.
Indeed, it was 100% on Dan Campbell. He was given 3 chances. The NFL God said you got 3 chances. You got 3 chances, and he went for 2 all 3 times. You lose. End of story. Deal with it.
2 out of the 3, the 2 that he tried before didn't work.
And one got blown up.
Why go for the third one?
Right. The first 2.
When you know the first 2 didn't work.
The football God said, kick the point. Play for overtime.
You never ever leave points out there, even if it's 3 points.
On the road, you play for the win.
No, on the road you play for
Exactly. Then again,
play for overtime. Do you not trust your defense? This defense has played outstanding all game. They've held one of the best offenses in the game this year to 20 points. You don't trust them for 3 plays in overtime? Are you kidding me? You're going to run some dumbass, half-ass trick play, and when you don't even get it lined up right because you have 2 players go over there and try to tell the rest they're eligible? That's on you, bud.
I can just imagine the refs going, okay, I got 2 players coming here telling me they're eligible.
Yeah.
Okay, you're eligible?
Gerald.
No.
Hello?
You're eligible? Okay, who's eligible here? But no, I do blame that on Campbell, because I do agree with Adam. He should have went ahead for the 3, sent this game into overtime, and try to win in overtime.
Yeah. Do you not trust your defense? I mean,
maybe Campbell figured, hey, 3rd time's a charm. Maybe I can punch it in this time.
Gerald.
What?
It should never came down to that tripping call on our player versus their player. It never even came down to that. So I don't want to hear.
But at the end of the day, those 2 cancel out, right? The first one, the no call on the trip, and the ineligible, they cancel each other out.
Well, not really.
So yes, really. Yes, really.
No, it does not, because on the previous drive, they could have ran the ball and ended the game right then and there. But
it cancels out. One miss.
No, listen. The touchdown and the 2-point conversion wouldn't ever happen. It's like it wouldn't even exist. If they would have got it right the first time, that wouldn't even matter.
Well, it's the same blown call, and it's the same thing as the Saints whining about the blown call in that playoff game 4 years ago. They had plenty of chances after that to make plays, and they couldn't get the job done against the Rams. You had plenty of chances to get the job done. Don't leave it in the hands of the officials. Make your plays, and don't whine when you don't get a call. Deal with it.
But I mean,
that's the way. That's why
he did not trip him. I mean, that was kind of.
That's why I don't care about the. That's why I don't care about the. That's why I don't care about the. That's why I don't care about the call no call. That's why I don't care about the ineligible, because they had shots all game long to make plays to keep Dallas out of the end zone, and they couldn't do it.
It wasn't just that on that one play either.
No game of football comes down to one play or one call.
Right.
It's a series of plays and calls that go one way or the other. It's a series of bounces.
On that one specific play, there was 3 penalties, all in Detroit.
Okay, guys.
They could have called it either way.
They could have. There couldn't. There's 100 calls that don't.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, I'm just saying on that specific play, there was 3 penalties. They could have gone
On any given play, there's 3 penalties. They could have gone either way.
No, that's
Yes,
what I'm saying.
yes.
On that one specifically, there was an eligible man downfield, non-reporting, and illegal touching.
Okay.
And you could have called and there's 3 there's 120 plays in a given football game. And you can make 100 different calls on any given play. And what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what gets called or what doesn't get called, right? It's about executing more plays, and Detroit just didn't, and so they have nothing to complain about. Why even let that situation in the rest of the game, in the run up to any given play in any given football game, not just that game, but any given football game. They're 120, 130.
They don't want to look at Jared Goff either. You know, Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions.
Exactly. In any given football game, there's approximately 120 plays. You know, on all of those 120 plays, if you slow every play down, you could find 100 violations by every play.
Let's move on. Lou, you saying something about you had some idiots you wanted to talk about?
Oh, you mean my idiot of the week?
Yeah.
Okay, idiot. Well, he had idiot number 1 already with the Miami incident. Idiot number 2. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Oops, wrong page. Okay. Now, we all know that some fans can get out of control during games, sometimes after games, right? Right. Well, here is a perfect example. On Monday, a 32-year-old woman was arrested after, get this, she allegedly crashed her car into the Jaguars facility intentionally. That's right, she did it intentionally. There's more. There's more. She allegedly crashed her car in through a gate and glass doors at the Miller Electric Center practice facility that is adjacent to the Everbank Stadium that opened last July. To continue with this, the woman who was not identified faces charges of a DUI, 5 counts of DUI property damage, aggravated assault of a police officer, resisting an arrest, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest, and just being a schmuck. The Jaguars acknowledged the incident according to medical news outlet in Jacksonville. The incident happened on the day after the Jaguars. No, you can't. The incident happened a day after the Jaguars were eliminated from playoff contention with the loss of the Titans, which was their 5th straight loss after starting a season of 8-3. Talk about a sore loser. We lost. Excuse me, I gotta go crash somebody. I gotta go crash the facility. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me go crash my car into this facility.
Yeah, let me get it straight. First, TV sets, and now this.
Take that, Trevor Lawrence.
The only question I have is: did she end up naked in the water fountain, or is it just a Bass Pro guy?
Maybe she wanted to be a permanent decor of the stadium.
Oh,
yes. Now, if you want something else that's even weirder, oh boy.
Oh.
This one was from last week. So,
Grandma
glad you asked.
And said, "Screw this! I'm going to take out the Jaguars."
Yeah. Now, excuse me. Now, first of all, Eagles fans smash their TV sets in their neighborhood sets. What's next? Okay. Now, for something even more ridiculous. Okay, if I still have I still have the article here.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. Now, I was going to do this last week, but since we weren't here, so I'll bring it now. All right. This involves the Carolina Panthers. Now, if you think their season hasn't been bad enough, which it has.
Oh, it's horrible.
This also proves that owners can be just as stupid as fans, players, and coaches. How? I will tell you.
Oh, I
Panthers
already
owner.
know.
But
But for those of you who don't know,
Oh, I know. He threw a drink
Yes.
on a
He threw a
little
drink.
kid.
yes,
Mm.
one ass.
Well, that's that. Well, that kid should have known not to chirp the owner.
I'm sorry,
You know,
but
just
if you're
throw a drink
throwing
on a
a
kid.
drink at a child, that you should
the
not.
funniest
You should not be
one-
an owner.
No,
Out of all these
no, you're
idiots,
supposed to set an example and show class. That was a
Out of
classic
all-
act by him, spilling his drink on a kid. Come on, he didn't know any better.
He
Out
is
of,
the worst. I think he is the worst owner in the NFL.
Children should be seen and not heard.
out of
It
all
doesn't
these
mean it doesn't have to go attack him.
my wife said, "Okay, Adam."
And I thought Dan Snyder was the worst. That guy's worse.
He's a close second.
Oh God, no, 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 God, no.
This
Have you
guy
heard the
is
things that
really bad?
Dan Snyder? Dan Snyder's no. Dan Snyder. That's bad. And that is not even close to the stratosphere of bad that Dan Snyder was. Dan Snyder is a piece of shit.
Oh,
And half of the things he's
this guy's bad
of the week.
strategically, organically, any way you want to put it. This guy is the worst today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today, okay, today, sure. Not Dan Snyder bad. If the worst thing that this guy does,
An example.
if the worst thing this guy does is throw a drink on a kid, yes, that's not appropriate. I'm sorry it happened. But what Dan Snyder did, he deserves to be locked up for the next 20 years. If half the rumors are true about what Dan Snyder was involved in, Dan Snyder needs to be locked up for the next 20 years.
Since this guy's been an owner, he has not led them to the playoffs at all. He is a day stock trader. That's what he is.
Okay. Out of all three of these idiots of the week, my funny award goes to Grandma, the 71-year-old.
Not the guy that ended up in the fish tank at Bass Pro.
How?
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Time out.
I heard about that.
Time out. How did an idiot end up in a bass tank at Bass Pro?
I don't know.
He was having
he wanted to swim fishes.
he was having a mental break. He was having a mental episode. And I believe he was drunk as well, and he was having a mental episode. And he crashed his car into the light pole outside of the Bass Pro. Stripped naked. Went into the Bass Pro. And then climbed into the fish tank.
All right, Gerald, don't get any ideas.
He already did.
Oh my god!
And to say he was lacking in a certain appendage would be rather on the small side. It would be.
It's a tie for number one between Grandma and the
Bass Pro, dude.
I would say roll tide, but the only thing he was rolling were jelly donuts.
Like I said, don't get no ideas, Gerald.
Yes, he was having, and in all seriousness, if you're ill, and you have mental problems, seek help.
Right.
Really do. I mean,
Somebody that actually has mental health problems, myself, reach out, get help.
Yes.
Don't go to the Bass Pro and get naked. Go to the fish tank.
Right. Don't go to my house.
Yeah, as much fun as that might sound.
To some of us, yes.
Point and laugh.
As much fun as it might sound like to climb into that Pro fish tank.
But okay.
And swim with the fishes.
You don't want it.
That is a one-way trip to county. You're going to the county. They're gonna dry you out, and then you're gonna be seen. And then
they're gonna hold you on a 5150, which is a site code.
And you know what?
And then
you're probably gonna get bit by alligator gar.
or who knows what? Because those Best Pro fish tanks aren't exactly the most hygienic water in the country.
And they do have some fish that will bite you.
And they have turtles, snapping turtles, and stuff like that.
Alligator snapping turtles. They got alligator gar. They got
alligator luggage.
They got
alligator clips.
They do inside the store, but they don't have alligators inside the fish tank.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
They have alligator. They have alligator clips. I mean, put them on your nipples if you're into that kind of thing.
We still got some more here to cover. Steelers 17, Ravens 10. Steelers clinch a playoff berth with the Jaguars' loss.
Yes.
Texans beat the Colts 23-19. Texas clinches AFC South, and Colts are eliminated.
That was a good game.
Now, this right here had to be one of the most boring games in history.
Oh, yeah. More than 3-0.
9-0.
Boring.
Well, you're talking about boring games. Two NFC South teams. What did you expect?
Not much.
Yeah.
But the Bucks win the South. Bengals and Browns. That was a okay game. The Bengals 31, Browns 14.
Well, they had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Lions 30, Vikings 20.
Yeah, they didn't have anything to play for that either.
The Jets beat the Patriots, which ain't no surprise. The Patriots ain't shit.
Well, that's the first time in how many times? 15?
15
times. Yeah.
That was the Jets beat the Patriots 17-3. The Saints beat the Falcons 48-17.
Some controversy in that one at the end, wasn't there?
Titans beat the Jaguars by 8, 28-20. Jaguars eliminated and lost 5 of the last 6.
Not the only team.
Packers 17, Bears 9. Packers clinches playoff spot. Cowboys 38, Commanders 10. Of course, we all know Cowboys won the East and got the number 2 seed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have home home field advantage until the championship game.
Hopefully.
I hate to stick this to Stephen A. Smith, but I just gotta do it. How about them Cowboys?
Right?
All right, Skip. No one asked you.
The Seahawks and Cardinals, that was a great game. I mean, it was a hard-fought game.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Cardinals came up short by 1. It was 21-20.
In a meaningless game.
The Chiefs
and Pete Carroll's last game, so I mean, it was kind of he went out with a bang. Yeah.
Yeah. He went out as winner.
Was another good game. It went down to 1 point. Chiefs 13, Chargers 12.
Yeah.
Raiders 27, Broncos 14. The Giants 27. Yes, the Giants beat the Eagles.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
That
was horrible. Downright horrible.
Sucked.
I was sitting there after that game, and I found out. I was sitting there. I damn near started crying from laughing so hard.
Well, I don't know about that.
My point. Any team can play spoiler.
And I don't. The only thing I worry about is if the Eagles are going to get hot in the playoffs and make a run.
I don't think they will.
That's what I'm afraid of. Is everybody's saying they got no shot. I even picked the Bucks. The Bucks. But I'm just sitting here going, if you pick any time to get cold, if you pick it, because we talked at the top of the show, you talk about getting hot, getting right in the playoffs, right? It's a new season. Everybody's at 0. And all you got to do is win.
But how are you going to end the season ice cold and then end up heating up?
That's what I'm saying. Because every year someone goes on a run. Someone gets right, getting into the playoffs, and all it takes is one good drive, and the Eagles are feeling themselves, and they get a stop on defense, and they get up a couple of scores early, and just suffocate you, and next thing you'll know, Philly's headed to San Francisco.
Well, the Eagles were the 6 and became the first team to start 10-1 and finish with less than 11 wins.
Horrible.
And you would think that sounds bad. It sounds bad right now, but Thursday we could be talking about the Eagles knocking on going down to Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay didn't look exactly impressive against the Saints, or not the Saints, the Panthers.
That goes back to what I said. Any team can play spoiler.
Any team can win on any given Sunday, man. Right. And it's going to be a nice, it's Southern Tampa, and it's South Florida in January, so it's going to be nice. So the weather's not going to play a big factor unless it's like super windy. And even if it's rainy, it's still going to be a warm rain.
The Eagles probably
will rain here.
The Buccaneers, thinking, oh well, we can beat the Buccaneers. They're nothing.
Yeah, but
the Bucks are ahead, and there's no way the Eagles can catch up.
And I look at it just as easily the other way. The Eagles shouldn't win this game. They've been super cold in December. They were super cold in December and January. Lost 6 in a row. They finished 10-7. Lose the division.
11.
Go on the road to play Tampa. But what's to keep them from getting right in between now and Sunday or Saturday or whenever the game is?
LA Rams 21, 49ers 20. That was a meaningless game for the 49ers. They already had the number 1 seed locked up.
Right. They couldn't be caught.
Well, the Rams
there's no way any other team can catch the 49ers.
And the Rams needed that one to make the playoffs.
No, the Rams just needed it to be the 6th seed versus the 7th.
Exactly. But wide receiver Nakua sets 2 rookie records in that game.
Yep.
Bills 21, Dolphins 14. Bills win the AFC East and the number 2 seed.
That was horrible.
And they had
your wild card matchup for this week. Saturday, we got the Browns at the Texans. I'm gonna take the Texans on this one.
I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth this one, but I think I'm gonna sell with the Texans.
Now, if the Browns had Watson, I would go with the Browns.
I mean, they got Joe Flacco, but the thing is, I don't know. I like the Texans here because it's in Houston, but the thing is, I think it's gonna be a good game, though. I mean,
it should be.
It should be.
Adam, who you got in that one?
I got the Texans in that one, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cleveland pulls up a minor upset.
And that game's going to be at 4:30, 3:30 on NBC.
Yes.
The next game, we have the number 6 Dolphins at the number 3 Chiefs. That's going to be 8-7 on Peacock.
Okay.
That should be another good game because it's going to be an Arrowhead.
5 above 0.
And the Chiefs know how to play in that kind of weather when the Dolphins don't.
That's right.
Yeah, it's gonna be below 0.
So I'm going with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yes. Kansas City Chiefs, and by the way, they're actually providing free long jumps for the first 20,000 fans that enter the stadium. and
Dolphins.
And Ultra Blanket. I'm going to the Dolphins anyway.
He's going upstairs.
Sorry, but Tyreek is gonna be freezing, so I don't know.
And Tyreek played for 6 years in Kansas City. He ain't scared.
I don't know.
Okay. Sunday. I'll come. We got the number 7 Steelers going into Buffalo to play the Bills.
You know what? I'm gonna go.
That's gonna be a 12:00 kickoff on CBS.
Mhm.
I'm taking the Bills.
I'm going Bills.
I smell an upset. I'm going with the Steelers.
With Mason Rudolph?
Yes, with Mason Rudolph throwing us quarterback. Yes.
That
Lord.
Pittsburgh defense.
No,
but they don't
That
have
Pittsburgh
TJ
defense
Watt.
is.
They don't have TJ Watt. So I mean,
They haven't had TJ Watt all year.
I growth better.
They've been right.
Bills. I'm going Bills.
Okay, Adam, who are you going with?
Steelers.
Thank you.
Oh, we got the number 7 Packers going into AT&T Stadium to play the number 2 Cowboys. And that's a 3:30, 4:30 game.
Cowboys.
Boys.
I'm going Cowboys now. The reason why I said Cowboys because the Packers don't have Rodgers anymore.
Nope.
I think Love's having a really good season. I just don't. I don't think he's
Rodgers
able to pull it off.
They don't have the firepower to. They don't have the firepower to hang with the Cowboys.
No.
I like the Cowboys. I think the Packers should push all in and get the number 1 pick from the Bears. The Packers should push all in and go get the number 1 pick from the Bears and take Marvin Harrison Jr.
You know, and like Adam was saying, the firepower. No, we got weapons like CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cook,
Gallup,
Ferguson.
I think 20 points is enough to win for the Cowboys. I don't think they need it. I think the Cowboys just run the ball, play keep away. You got more than enough defense to get it done.
Create turnovers.
Cowboys 20-9.
20-0.
20-9.
He said 20-0. I was like,
I'll go 20.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I thought I heard 20-0. I'm like, huh?
I did.
Love
is good, but he's not Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
That's a 4. That's a 5. 9.
We got the Minnesota Rams going into Detroit to play the Lions. I'm taking the Lions on this one.
I'm taking the Rams.
And that game's going to be at 8-7 on NBC.
Let's say that game. I'll put it this way. I'm not lying.
I'm going Rams.
I'm going Lions.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Rams pick because if Jared Goff plays half as bad as he's played all year, Rams win going away. They're like 27-13, 34-16, and it's really not. It's close until late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. If Goff makes his usual mistakes, because that's how the Lions have been all year. So goes Goff, so go the Lions. If Goff has a 3-touchdown game, they'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
If Goff has 2 touchdowns and no picks, Lions win this game pretty handily. But if he makes 2 mistakes, it's game over. Because the Lions aren't built to come from behind. They're just not. They're just not. They just don't.
Okay, guys, we're about out of time. We need to move.
We got time.
We got all the time in the world. No show tonight.
Yeah.
Number 5, we got the number 5 Eagles going into Tampa Bay to play the Bucks. That's an 8:15, 7:15 ESPN and ABC. I'm taking the Bucks on this one.
And that's Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. Yeah.
Blue?
Bucks.
For some reason, I'm thinking Eagles.
Who's taking the Eagles?
Yeah, even though.
Ew. Gross.
Thank you.
Now here is the draft order. Number 1 is Chicago Bears. Number 2 is Washington Commanders. Number 3 is the Patriots. 4 is the Cardinals. 5 is the Chargers. 6 is the Giants. 7 is Tennessee. 8 is Atlanta. 9 is the Bears. Number 10 is the Jets. 11 is the Vikings. 12 is Denver. 13 is Las Vegas. 14 is the Saints. 16 is the Colts. 16 is Seattle. 17 is the Jacksonville. 18 is the Cincinnati Bengals. The top 18 and the rest. Top 18 are set, and the rest are possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just depends on how the playoffs for these teams end up.
Right.
Green Bay Packers at 18, Tampa Bay at 20, Los Angeles Rams at 21, 22 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, 23 is the Cardinals, 24 is Houston from Cleveland Brown because of the Deshaun Watson trade.
Right.
25 is the Dolphins, 26 is the Chiefs, 27 is the Philadelphia Eagles, 28 is the Buffalo Bills, 29 is the Detroit Lions, 30 is the Dallas Cowboys, 31 is the Ravens.
And then 32 San Francisco.
32 is San Francisco.
Yeah. 32 is San Francisco. I don't know why, but I don't have the AFC playoff picture on here.
It's on there.
We already ran through it.
Yeah, we already went through it.
Not the AFC.
Yeah, I took the Steelers.
Oh, okay. I see what he did. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
My bad. SmackDown New Year's Revolution. This was a great show. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline showed up, and there's something I want to talk to you about, but I get to that in a minute. U.S. title finals. Kevin Owens beats Santos Escobar. Logan Paul steps into the ring and gets punched and knocked out. By Kevin Owens. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits in ring promo. They end up getting distracted from Karrion Kross and Scarlett. And Paul authors of and AOP's back.
Yeah, Paul Ellering. Yep. The famous man from the Legion of Doom.
Yep.
Legion of Doom.
While Karrion Kross takes out Bobby Lashley. This is a new fashion that Karrion Kross has been teasing with his trailers. So the AOP is going to join up with Kross.
Right. That should be a dominant faction, actually.
Yeah. Io Sky beats Michin. Butch and Tyler Bates beats Pretty Deadly. Triple threat match. Main event went to no contest when Roman Reigns. I just lost it here.
Solo.
And Jimmy Uso took out the three members of a triple threat match. GM Nick Aldis told Paul Heyman that since they messed up the finish of the match, there will be a final four-way dance at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
So Roman Reigns could be screwed.
I think he will because I think something's going to happen. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I feel like The Rock is going to intervene in that match and cost him the match.
I think so too. Drew McIntyre in ring promo talking about how he got screwed when Damien Priest showed up with the briefcase. Then shoots on CM Punk saying he should leave for 9 years to get a hero's welcome back. CM Punk intervenes and exchange blows.
Barbs, yeah.
Blows.
Yeah. They didn't really do both. They didn't touch each other. They exchanged barbs. They basically insulted each other.
Tommaso beats Finn Balor. Kofi advises to a double count out and attack Kofi post-match saying he deserves what he did to Vinci last week. Boring Nia Jax segment. I don't really know why they retained her. Rehired her.
I don't like her. I think she's terrible.
Women's tag team match saw Carter and Chance retaining over Green and Niven. That R-Truth video about the Judgment Day, that was hilarious.
He's so funny. He's such a goof.
WWE.
He is. He really is. How do you not love him?
He doesn't have to have a title. He
is
doesn't have to be the main
hilarious.
event. As long as he's on the show, it's very funny.
He needs the IC title. He should have an IC title run.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah.
He's had the
He's-
before.
I don't think he has. I don't think he's the right kind of character to make a heavyweight, to make a main event run. But putting the IC title on him.
Well, he wasn't. He wasn't TNA. He was the world champ in TNA. But
yeah, well, TNA is
for his character in WWE. He's more of a comedic.
Okay, we're down to 5
character.
minutes.
Yeah.
Let's speed this up real quick.
We've got time, Gerald.
No, because Brad's show starts.
No, his show's not going on tonight.
Brad's not doing a show.
Yeah, Brad's not feeling good. He's gonna take the night off.
Okay, but then we can go until.
We can go for another half hour. We can go half hour if y'all want to. I'm okay with that.
It's okay.
Because we can talk about that. After we get through with this, we can talk about the draft.
Well, I just want to finish up on R-Truth because I think the IC title on R-Truth would be just so much fun. Because he's such a goofy fun. Because I don't see him as a heavy, because TNA is total nonsense. Whatever A stands for.
Total non-stop action. Yeah,
total nonsense, no action. And so, but I think because I don't see R-Truth being a heavyweight guy in WWE, it just seems silly to me.
Right.
But I love him as the IC champion.
Well, I mean,
being goofy and quirky, and
he did have that one feud with Cena over the WWE title when back in
like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 12 years ago. Yeah,
and but that was a totally different character though. That was a more serious. That was more serious.
Oh no! He wasn't even serious then. This is when he had that little Jimmy thing, where he was talking
but the
characters, little Jimmy.
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago.
Right.
And I think that but I think I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. And I understand that little Jimmy was quirky and weird, but it still felt like the character was more serious, right?
Well, yeah.
The R-Truth character was a more serious wrestler.
Oh, back then.
I feel like this iteration of R-Truth is more for comedic relief than the old R-Truth. The old R-Truth, and now you watch a lot more wrestling than I do. So correct me if I'm wrong. And correct me if I'm wrong. For the clips I've seen of the more recent R-Truth, they seem like they play the character for laughs. Like the R-Truth of 10 years ago was psychotic. He wasn't silly. He was insane.
And you know what? Everybody that actually isn't on screen with him breaks character, because he makes everybody laugh. You could tell
because he was
Damian Priest. Damian Priest breaks character every time he talks.
And 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, when Little Jimmy was around, Little Jimmy was him having a mental break. It wasn't him being goofy. He was having serious mental problems, right? And obviously, it's a character. He's playing a character. I know that the character of R-Truth, but he was playing a character having a mental break. That's where the Little Jimmy thing came from. Now that the R-Truth that I see out there, and I've seen a handful of clips of the more recent R-Truth, I just think he's being silly and goofy and quirky. And so when 10 years ago, I think it made sense for him to have a run at the WWE title.
Yes.
Now, if you could parlay that, you could give him an IC title run as the goofy, quirky character, and if it's received well, then maybe you play him more straight, play him more serious, and he stops being silly and funny and goofy and trying to get people to break, trying to get people out of character. And he can slot into that role as a serious threat for the WWE title. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm saying it won't.
I was going to say one of the best things he's ever done. Well, I'm not going to say the best, but one of the best things. I think it was during the Royal Rumble. He brought a ladder match in, and he thought it was the Money in the Bank.
Yes, that was. But see, that's what I'm saying. To me, that's silly.
Or the deal with Lesnar. Like he was going to go in the Royal Rumble, and Lesnar was like looking at him like
Paul Heyman.
He was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go in.
Yeah. He thinks he's gonna fight. He's going on about fighting Paul Heyman. I want to fight Paul Heyman.
But
Paul Heyman.
But Brock Lesnar was cracking up laughing.
Dying.
He couldn't.
Dying laughing. And Paul Heyman's like, and because Paul Heyman's a serious, he's very serious about wrestling, and he's very serious about what do they call it, the sport, very serious about sports entertainment, and this is
even he broke character.
And it was I was getting there because I was gonna say, and even this very serious Paul Heyman, and it's not silly, it's not wrestling, it's sports entertainment, and we take this serious, and even Paul Heyman is falling apart, is doing everything he can not to fall apart.
Exactly.
And Paul Heyman, who pays it super straight, is doing everything he can not to lose it.
It's kind of like Sami Zayn whenever he was in the Bloodline, and he got the Usos to break character.
That's especially when you said that one of them wasn't feeling very oozy.
Yeah.
That was funny. You could look at some things, and he just turned away. And caught him laughing a little bit.
Solo was laughing like
not much.
Anyways, go ahead.
I remember.
The Miz beats JD McDonough with an excuse from R-Truth. The Judgment Day are mad and says this has to end. Honestly, I see this as a reformation of R-Truth.
I like that tag team.
Seth Rollins came out in in-ring promo until Jinder Mahal could. I don't know why they bought this idiot match.
I like him a little bit. He wasn't a great champion, but he was still for that time. He was a good champion.
A champ is a champ.
Came out and led to a brawl. Jinder may contend for a championship.
Yeah.
And Ibar beats Otis. This was a great match. Two big.
Let me say something, Gerald. On that whole Jinder Mahal thing, Tony Khan from AEW he blew a gasket over it, and he was like, why is the guy who hasn't won a match in over a year getting a title shot? Does it matter? Does it matter? Lately, he's been known for booking really bad matches. All he does is snort coke.
Hello. Hey, bud. I'm all right.
Cody Rhodes beats Nakamura. Hopefully, this ends this mini feud.
I hope so too. I really do. It's kind of
played out.
It's good. It's good while it lasted. We don't need any more. We need to move on to the story.
Exactly. Next Monday, it's Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day.
I think if they win that match, they should get a title shot.
I was thinking the same thing.
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to get them to win the match because I think it's non-title. So if they win the match, they get a title shot against the Judgment Day. DIY, Gargano and Ciampa versus Judgment Day's JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. I'm getting so tired of the Dominic Mysterio crap. Yeah, I feel like they need to move on. Kind of run its course, but then I feel like he'd be better off in the LWO storyline or something. You know?
Exactly. Or as a singles competitor.
Right.
Yeah.
Judgment Day. This is getting old real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Judgment Day is old.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Judgment Day to eventually break up.
Well, that and the bloodline, those two need to go away too. Like,
and I've been saying that for what? We've been doing the show for what, a year and a half, 2 years now. And every week I come.
Bloodline needs to go away too. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
And every week I say the bloodline needs to die. They need to kill the bloodline. Kill the bloodline. Put the Usos out in solo.
Well,
it is.
I think what they're trying to do, Adam, is I think they're trying to push for Roman and Rock at Mania for the head of the table, but I don't think Rock is going to win. I think they're going to have Roman win, but Roman's going to take time off after that for like a while, and then maybe come back and try to win a title after that.
No, I think the Rock. I think the Rock can beat Roman.
Well, I think he can too. I just think I don't. Does it really mean a whole lot for Rock to win?
Not in this one.
No. You know what makes me think that that's going to happen is because Rock was on I think it was either Raw or SmackDown. I don't remember, but he goes, "The Rock is hungry. After this, the Rock's going to go out and eat. Should he sit at a table, at the bar, at the head of the table?"
Right. So
that's
I think he's going to. I know for a fact he's going after Roman. Like, it's got to be at Mania, so he's got to drop the title between here and Mania. So I think he's going to drop it at the Rumble.
I think he's going to lose it in a fatal four-way.
What?
I think he's going to lose it in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he loses it? Do you think he loses it in a fatal four-way and he doesn't take a pin? Do you think somebody else gets pinned and wins the belt?
Yeah.
Right. So he could lose the title, but not look bad.
You can lose the title, but not lose the match. Right. That's what slobber knocker, as JR might say. Knockdown, drag up, Iron Man, fatal four-way, 60-minute match, and
winner takes
pin. You know, near falls all over, and then someone else pins one of the other four. Then Roman loses, but loses the belt, but doesn't actually lose.
Well, this is who I believe is going to win the Rumble. Who I think is going to win that match. I think it's going to be Orton. So it's going to be Orton.
Yeah.
So I think Orton is going to face the winner, which could be Cody. So I think it's going to be Cody and Orton at Mania. It's going to be Seth, CM Punk, and then
could you see
Jimmy versus Jay at Mania.
I can guarantee
coming back
right now. This Universal title match, the Fatal 4-Way, it's going to be all over that damn arena.
Oh, yeah. It should be.
They're going to beat the living snot out of each other.
Could you see Cena coming back to take on Orton, win the belt one last time at Mania?
He doesn't need it, though.
Cena doesn't have
but
he even said he doesn't want to break Flair's record, which is, I mean, it is what it is.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Bullshit. Not calling bullshit on that right now.
And also on Raw, we're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship match: Seth versus Jinder Mahal.
Right. That's this Monday, yeah.
As much as I don't like Jinder Mahal, Tony Khan just needs to shut the hell up.
Then coming Friday,
exactly.
we got Bayley versus Bianca Belair. I'm hoping this settles the feud between those two.
Well, you know it's not going to, because they're going to face each other in the Rumble. So,
we got Cameron Grimes going up against Grayson Waller. Grimes is going to take Waller out unless Austin Theory intervenes.
You know he's going to.
Angel and Humberto will take on LWO. LWO is going to win that one.
They should.
They should, but I feel like Santos is going to intervene.
But I see Carlito being out there with the LWO.
Huh.
Right.
Man, they're just digging up every old bone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Then we have the World Rumble coming up on the 27th of this month.
A cup of coffee is a big time, man.
We got the U.S. title match: Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens.
What?
Kevin Owens is going to take Logan Paul out.
That, or
I think the W.
or they're just going to keep the belt on Logan until WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think if I was management, if I was Triple H, if I was a part of creative, I would push the absolute living hell out of Logan Paul. I would want to capture. I know you don't like him. I know you don't like him.
Oh no,
and that's fine. You don't gotta like him.
No,
you ain't gotta like him. You ain't gotta like him. But he's good for business because people who don't like wrestling know Jake Paul. And if you can get 1/10 of Jake Paul fans to tune in every week, it's 100,000 people.
Logan Paul.
Him too. Him too.
The only thing that Kevin Owens has to watch out for is Logan Paul is that right hand because he's got that steel plate in there.
And if you can get one, I would push the absolute living shit out of Logan Paul because if you can get 1/10 of Logan Paul's fans to tune into Raw, that's 200,000 eyes.
And also, Kevin Owens is no slouch. He don't quit until
No, but if you utilize Logan Paul right, and you can get 1/10 of Logan Paul's current fan base to tune into Monday Night Raw, and you can get a 10th of that to buy a pay-per-view, you made $100,000. You made $100,000. I mean, I know you don't like Logan Paul, but if you want, but as wrestling as a brand, as a fan of wrestling, Logan Paul's good for business because he brings eyeballs. Eyeballs have money, and eyeballs want to spend their monny.
Universal title match.
I was going to say Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens doesn't need the title right away.
No, I agree, but we just got to see what happens.
And maybe, and it depends on how they want to play it though, because if you take the belt off of Logan now, and you put it on Owens, and you push Owens, then you can have a redemption arc. You can turn Logan, and I'm not sure, maybe Logan is a babyface, but you can turn Logan, baby.
He's heel.
You can turn Logan babyface here at Rumble, and set him up for a babyface run at Mania, and put him in a mid-card event, not an opening match, but a mid-card event, a day 2 match at Mania to win the belt back. And I think that would play well, and it gives people a reason to root for Logan. He gets beat, he does a face turn, and then you give Owens a full heel turn, because Owens has always been a kind of a gray area, to me at least. If I'm wrong, correct me, and I'd be happy to be corrected. But I've always seen Owens as neither good nor bad. He's kind of a gray area guy. He does some good things. He does some bad things. He's not afraid to dirty it up. He's not afraid to hit you with a chair. He's not afraid to bump a ref. But he also every now and again he has a clean match. You're not afraid to just get in there and wrestle and have a wrestling match. So I think if you do a full heel turn on Owens, and you give Logan a face turn, and you set that up going into Mania, you could have a really good storyline where Logan gets close, right? Logan is always losing, but he's losing under, Owens is doing dirty things. He's hitting with chairs. He's knocking out officials. He's getting out of the ring and getting disqualified. Stuff like that. In the lead up to Mania, then you have an absolute strawberry knocker, drag out, knockdown fight at Mania. Right. Put the belt back on Logan, and he completes his face turn. Finish the face turn. He wins the belt outright. And now Logan is this face, and you get all the fans that didn't like Logan because of his past, because of who he is. And now he's a face, and then you can push Logan as the face of the company, and like I've been preaching ever since he got to the WWE, to anybody that'll listen, and even people who won't listen, Logan's good for business. Logan can be great for business if you use him right. And I've said my piece. Please continue.
Right. The title match, the Fatal 4-Way. I want to say it's going to come down to Randy Orton and LA Knight.
Well, yeah. You forget AJ Styles is in there too.
Well, AJ Styles has got a vendetta out against Roman.
See those two at Elimination Chamber.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
If you remember, Roman Reigns at Bloodline took AJ Styles out.
Right.
Well, that was very nice of them. Where'd they go?
So AJ's gonna come back for revenge. So I think AJ is gonna be mainly going after Roman.
Right.
And that's
I wonder if they got Italian.
And LA Knight to fight it out for the Universal title.
Mhm.
I see my jokes aren't landing now.
AJ and Roman's just gonna be beating the shit out of each other all over that arena.
Right.
Imagine so.
And I'll show myself out.
Are you leaving us, Adam?
Well, my jokes weren't landing.
Yeah.
You said they took him out, and I said, where did they take him? I hope it was Italian.
Oh, I missed that one.
And nobody laughed. It's like, well, I guess my jokes aren't leaving, and I'll see myself out.
No, I missed that one.
But
It's not as funny if you have to explain it.
The men's Royal Rumble match, the women's Royal Rumble match. We got NXT Vengeance Day, February the 4th. Men's final in the Dusty Tag Team Classic. That's to be determined. You know what two teams are going to go against each other.
Is Rumble
will face the Battle Royal winner.
Is Rumble next?
yeah, the Rumble is on the 27th.
The Rumble is on the 27th.
Huh? Echo.
Yeah, 27th.
Is that okay? So I haven't been paying attention. This is where I get all my WWE news. Is listening to you guys talk. Did day one happen? What happened with day one? Was that any good? Did that actually happen?
Yeah, it was last Monday night.
New Year's Revolution.
Not this past Monday night, but the Monday before. Yeah.
Was that just an episode of Raw? They turned that into just an episode of Raw, didn't they?
Episode of Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that information.
That's okay. That's okay.
New Year's Revolution.
Oh, that's okay. I don't need the backstory or anything. That's fine. I was just asking if it happened because I'd heard earlier in the year that day one had been canceled. So I was just wanting to know what had happened there with that. That was my question. Sorry. I
decided to do away with the day one pay-per-view and just do New Year's Revolution.
Okay. Now was that because because New Year's was on a Monday or
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think that's the reason why they did it.
And I was wondering if that was because New Year's was on a Monday or because the Rumble was at the end of the month.
They only did that day one pay-per-view one time. That was because
of
Atlanta.
Now,
and then weren't they trying to reset stuff? Kind of like when DC Comics resets everything with the new 52, and when they start a new run of comic books. Okay, cool.
That's when.
Sorry, guys.
That's when Big E was champion.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to interrupt the flow, but I just had questions.
Right.
But honestly, I see day one pay-per-view coming back soon.
You think day one's going to be back next year? You think they'll start day one in 25?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay. Do you think they'll move the Rumble back a month then?
No. They used to do two pay-per-views in a month. Remember?
So that does I don't know. I don't like that. You know, this is something I've complained about for a long time. Is that I think there are too many pay-per-views. Personally, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, but I think there's too many pay-per-views. I think there should be 4 big pay-per-views once every quarter. You have one big pay-per-view.
That brings in extra money to the company.
But Mike, okay, so
that would help them bring in new talent.
see, I think it would be better. No, I'm more than happy to hear other people's thoughts. But if you have one big pay per view every 4 months, once a quarter, if you have one big pay per view at the end of a quarter, what you can do is you can set up a lot of storylines that can run for 3 or 4 months instead of going from pay per view to pay per view to pay per view to pay per view to pay per view. So I think they have like 8 or 10 pay per views, maybe even 12. At one point, they had 12 pay per views in a year. When you have,
they used to do more than that because remember the pay per views used to be branded.
True. And see, I think you have the big four. You have you have Mania, SummerSlam, Rumble,
Survivor Series,
and Crown Jewel.
Survivor Series.
Okay, and you take or leave Survivor Series. I'm okay with that. I like Night of Champions. I always thought Night of Champions was fun. I think Night of Champions should be. I think Night of Champions should be 1 week of Champions. It should be Week of Champions. Get rid of that pay-per-view and have and do the brand combination on Monday and Friday night. Do a Monday night Raw SmackDown and do a SmackDown Raw on Friday night. Because I think I don't know. Because I think it's hard for people to justify, $50, $60, $80 a month on a pay-per-view every month.
Well, thank God that it's on Peacock, so it's premium live. So
yeah, you can get Peacock premium live. I think it's like what, James, $6.99, $9.99.
It's not much. It's not much at all.
And you can get.
That's better.
It's better than paying $50 a pop.
Yeah. I really think.
If you get it on Peacock, you don't have to pay the $50, $60 every pay-per-view to watch it. Because basically, all you do is paying the $6.99 a month for Peacock, and you get the pay-per-views for free.
That's a better deal. That's a better deal. I don't give them some credit. Credit where credit is due. That's a good deal. I'll take that deal.
And then AEW has where you charge like $60 a pop.
AEW is a clown show. I tried to watch AEW. I can't. I just can't.
Adam.
The owner is a fan. The owner is a fanboy, and I'm serious. I think he's drugged. Like when he goes up there and does his press conferences, it looks like he's snorting coke.
Well, Tony Khan is all I need to know. Tony Khan's all I need to know.
Yeah.
That goober.
The whole Adam Cole thing being a devil, that is the most ridiculous.
Yeah, that was horrible. That was
idiotical storyline I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it could have worked, but it's silly.
Yeah, how they did it, it was like it was so predictable. It was super predictable. I was like, oh yeah, that's Adam Cole.
Samoa Joe working in the background with Adam Cole.
Well, it's kind of it sounds like Mr. America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hogan. It was Hogan.
No. It's Mr. America. This is coming out to a modified version of Hulk Hogan's theme song. It's just.
Oh no! Remember Santino? He was Santina, the girl.
I honestly I don't remember that. I just remember Mr. America. I remember Hulk Hogan because
Santina Marella was a girl.
Because I remember when Hogan and Mr. McMahon were having a feud and McMahon fired Hogan, and so the next week some very mystery guest, mystery wrestler, mystery superstar, whatever the hell they were calling them at the time, and it was Mr. America. He comes out to the Hulk Hogan theme, American Hero. I think that's what it's called.
Okay, let's
yeah.
have a little bit of fun here for a minute.
Okay.
We all football fans. We all want best for our teams in 2024.
Yes.
Lou, since you're a Cowboys fan and a Jets fan, and I'm going to do the Cowboys along with James. I'm going to give you the Jets. Who would you like to see the Jets pick up? I mean, it could be a quarterback, defensive player, special player.
We need to work on our offense, and we only not need to get a good quarterback out of the draft. We need to get a good backup quarterback, because every time our quarterback goes down, we get this crappy backup quarterback who can't do trash to save his life. So we need to get a good quarterback, a good starting quarterback. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers will get over his, whatever injury it was. But if he doesn't, we need to get a good solid back quarterback, because everyone they had this year has just plain sucked. And I mean, sucked. And Boyle was the worst. Boyle was absolute trash. That's when
Zach Wilson wasn't good.
Zach Wilson was better than Boyle.
Exactly. I could do better than Boyle.
And Zach Wilson was hot garbage.
Yeah, but hey, he was better than Boyles.
Yeah,
Boyles was a chapped ass. Boyles was a boy on the ass with Chad Baboon. Boyles was a boy on the chapped ass of a baboon.
Yeah, good job.
Oh my God, Adam.
So basically, what you had last year or this year, Lou, was the New York Packers.
Packers East. Packers East.
Yeah,
Packers East.
Adam, with you being a Lions fan, what do you hope y'all do in the draft?
Actually, what I want is a cloning machine. I think they should invest heavily in a cloning machine and get the DNA of Reggie White and clone Reggie White.
Call Reggie. Wow.
Yes.
No, in all seriousness, if I had my druthers, and I would love Corum. Corum would be great. He's going to be special. He can make one cut and he can be gone. If we can't have Corum, Junior Colson has got to be the guy. You got to keep him. You got to keep him in the state of Michigan. Kid's gonna be outstanding for the next 15 years. He's got speed.
I got a question. They've got Montgomery and they have Gibbs. Do you think they're gonna go with 3?
Well,
I think.
Are you gonna seriously? You're gonna trade one?
For what? With what Corum brings to the table?
Well, yeah, but I would like to see Corum in Dallas or something, or something.
Well, of course you would.
Utilize.
Of course you would.
No, or somewhere where he can be utilized.
I think
a bruiser back. We need a bruiser back in Dallas. Somebody
you can't pass up on 4.5 yards of carry. I mean, and good for 200 carries a year. I mean, he's gonna make somebody happy wherever he ends up.
But we need a bulky back, though.
But no, if Corum's not on the board, I think I take a long, hard look at Junior Colson. That's the guy that sticks out in my mind, because you're not gonna be able to move up and get a Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think you have the draft.
You'd have to give up the farm to get that guy.
Yeah, you'd have to more because at worst you're gonna finish. Because at worst you're gonna finish 18th. So, at worst you're gonna finish 18th. So at 18, if we flame out and I'm really high on Junior Colson. He's the one that jumps off the board at me right now. Keep him in the state of Michigan. He's good side to side. He can play all 3 linebacker positions. He's great in the run game, great in the pass game. He can go out, he can cover in the flat. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He's a 3-snap guy. He's got heart and passion. He's really intelligent. He's already played in a pro style defense with Jesse Minter's defense. I think he's a plug and play guy. I think he'll be available late first round. I don't think it's a reach. I don't think he's a third or fourth round guy. I think he's a solid late first, early second round guy. And I really think even you can say I'm a homer, you can say I only watch one team, but looking across the landscape of college football and what's available in free agency, and a guy that I think can play a solid 10, 15 years, a guy that can be a captain and a leader on defense after a couple of years, as the linebackers that we have now start to age out. That's where I'm at right now.
Right.
And obviously we haven't seen. Somebody could jump off the page at me in the combine or at the Senior Bowl, because there's a lot of Senior Bowl guys that are going to be available. But if you're saying one guy, yeah, Junior Colson.
Cowboys, we actually need a run stopper, and the best run stopper I see as of right now is Trevon Sweat coming out of Texas.
He's not gonna be a first rounder though, man.
But we can do some willing and dealing to jump up and get him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a good run stopper. The thing is, I don't think he's gonna go first round though. I think probably day 2, day 3.
And if he's available, then I'm not. If he's available on day 3 or late day 2, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's a good pick.
Hey, but Gerald, we only have a first, a second, a third, and I think 2 7ths.
Do you trade back in the third round to pick up a couple of fourths and pick up a fourth and a fifth?
They might have to.
Yeah.
You could also trade. Well, if you're gonna be drafting at the bottom of the first round, I would trade out of the first round, try to get a second and a third, or a third and a fourth, or a third, a fourth, and a fifth from somebody. Trade out of the first round, trade back into the third round, then trade that third round pick for 2 fourths and a fifth.
But I also think we're getting 2 comp picks, so I mean, you can use those comp picks as well.
We're getting one. I think we're getting one for Zeke Elliott from the Patriots.
Well,
that sounds right.
I think we're getting one for Schultz, and I think we're getting another one from somebody else. I don't remember.
But I tell you what, though, Schultz is really making an impact in Houston.
Right. But I'm kind of glad we did move away from him, because we have a guy that's basically similar to him.
Honestly, I'm hoping we keep Cooper Rush as Dak's backup.
Right. You signed a 2-year deal?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
This is his last year.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
Oh, did he only sign a 1-year deal?
Yes.
Honestly, I wouldn't fight tooth and nail to keep him. Plenty of solid backup quarterbacks available.
I'll tell you something we could do, and I've been thinking about this ever since we picked this guy up. We could use Trey Lance as a draft bargaining chip.
Yeah, but I don't We better get more from him than what we actually gave up.
If I was the Cowboys, I would think offensive line.
Oh yeah.
And I think the guy that, and I know that people are gonna say I'm a homer, but I fell in love with Zach Zenner. I think that the leg injury will scare some people off, and I think he'll be available at the end of the first round. And I think if I was the Cowboys, I'd take a long, hard look at him.
We do need to rebuild that offensive line. Yes, we do.
And he's 6'5", 330, can move with the best of them. Great hands, great footwork. He can play inside and outside. Play both tackle positions. solid day one starter.
Mm-hmm.
I would seriously think about Zach Zinner. And late first round. I don't think you need any help on the outside. I really think you're pretty solid everywhere. I don't think you have too many deficiencies. I think there's a quarterback out of BAMA coming out that I might think about going and getting just for some depth at corner, because you can never have too many corners.
True.
Well,
speaking of the draft, we're gonna have plenty of shows between now and the draft that we're actually gonna be doing mock drafts and all that. Just try to see where team needs are, because look, we have free agency first.
Right.
We'll do a post free agency to see where you have team needs that are now. Then right after you have free agency, then your team needs will change.
Exactly.
So,
maybe.
You want to go ahead and
like I said, it all depends.
you want to go ahead?
No.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
No, I was just agreeing with James. I was just saying your team needs. It depends on how you feel about the free agents. You may not feel that there are any free agents worth going. You may have because you got your big board. You got a handful of guys on your big board that you're looking at, and then you got you'll have the Senior Bowl, and you'll have the pro days, and then you'll have the draft, and then you'll have free agency, and who knows what's gonna happen, because Dallas could very easily go out and win it all this year. They could easily win it all this year, or they could flame out in the first round and get bounced. So
they could go anywhere between 19 and 32.
And so I think that there's a lot of different things that the Cowboys could do between now and then.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Exactly. So, Lou, you want to go ahead and plug your show real quick?
Okay, it's called "What Did I Do Wrong?" No,
I
don't really
know.
start. Okay,
Claimed in a fish tank at Bass Pro.
It's called "You're an Idiot." Part 1. No, the Enhanced Sports Show, Saturday 4 to 6 p.m. at Eastern Time, 3 to 5 for James and where you are. We'll discuss, of course, opening round of the playoffs, aka the wild card. We'll recap the College Football Championship, which I thought was a good game up until the fourth quarter. We'll discuss, hey, you're fired. Name of the NFL coaches.
Did I do that?
NBA and NHL action, of course. UFC and WWE, and we'll take some thoughts on college basketball, both men's and women's, because they're making a pretty big deal about one particular women's player from Iowa. Hint. So I want to get thoughts on that. I also want to get everybody's. I was going to do this last week. We're out of time. I want everybody's sports predictions for 2024, plus all the other stuff with the ridiculous hire of the week, which I've named on this show already. The Feel Good Story of the Week, Sports Trivia, and This Week in History, and of course, your thoughts and comments are always welcome. So you got time between 4 and 6 Saturday over here. 3 and 5 were Gerald and James Arden. I think we're adding this to. Dial 512-543-4662. Again, that's 512-543-4662 for the Enhanced Sports Show. 2024 is going to be a busy year in the sports world, so I hope I can get as many people as I possibly can to come on the show. I hope.
As long as it's not
As I
sponsored
remind-
by Bass Pro Sports.
As I remind you every week, I am on the East Coast.
And also, don't forget, we got something else starting up next month. And that's NASCAR's coming back.
And spring training.
Indeed. And spring training.
We'll do that in February.
And the internal. Yeah, I can't say it tonight. Baseball season.
I think
We'll take care of that in February.
If I'm wrong, but I don't think we'll be running at the Coliseum again.
They are, unfortunately.
Ooh.
That is a boring race.
It's terrible.
Is it a Busch
You
Cup
want
race?
you want something boring?
It-
Wait, I got one more for you. You're gonna love it. Now we all know that there have been games, of course, that have been losses, and then there have been games that have been losses, right? Right.
Mhm.
I got a perfect example for you right here. You were just gonna love it, or you're gonna hate it, as the case may be. So I do occasionally women's articles in here. I know a lot of people are thinking, Louis, you're crazy. Well, first of all, thank you. But I came across something
Throw away all that
from
shit. Why are you eating
yuck,
the damn?
from a
I told you not to eat there.
college basketball, a women's college basketball game. Here it is. This took place about a week and a half ago. This game was no contest as Grambling started the new year with a performance you won't believe. As there were 8 players in double figures, and they trashed the opponent called the College of Biblical Studies. You ready for the score on this, guys? You ready? The final score was
141.
159 to 18. That's right, 159 to 18. That is a joke. The worst score, the worst trash dump of a game ever in Division I history, men's or women's, of 141 points margin. That game was over from the word go.
I don't think
there was no excuse for that game to continue. None at all.
Pretty much.
I don't think if you gave the 4 of us infinite time, we could get to 150 points.
Yeah. Look,
Okay.
at halftime it was 82 to 10. That is embarrassing.
We could score more than 18 points together.
Yeah.
But before we go, y'all have any final thoughts? I'm gonna go first on this one. Stay tuned to the show because 2024 is going to be a long and great sports season. You know, we got so much sports. I just want to thank these 3 guys for sticking with me over the week. You know, over the past week. Guys, I appreciate your thoughts and prayers. Even my wife does.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
It was a rough week, but we came back from it.
Uh-huh.
We're still not out of the woods yet.
Still not out of the woods yet, but she's doing better.
Keep good thoughts.
Don't go towards the light.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it literally scared me to death, guys.
Of course.
I thought I was going to lose her.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever lose her, check under the couch.
She's like the damn Energizer Bunny. She keeps going and going and going and going.
Yep.
You couldn't lose her if you tried.
I think I would have learned, but
No.
sometimes no.
She's hard-headed at times.
You couldn't lose her if you tried.
I think that's you in a nutshell.
Yes.
I got to be honest with you guys. We're both hard-headed.
No,
Right.
Well, you married her.
Oh.
I tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I went straight Diane for the world.
Adam duct tape.
Adam duct tape.
She's always
Pin down.
mentioning duct tape.
That's right.
Does anybody else have any last thoughts?
Yeah, I got one. I think Rich Eisen summed it up best with his tweet right after the Rose Bowl. It's just a picture of him as Michigan streaming out on the field after beating Bama, and it just says no notes, and that to me has perfectly summed up this glorious 15-0 run. You know, you can take all your asterisks, and in the immortal words of the Rock, you can shin them real nice. You can spin them sons of bitches sideways and shove them straight up your candy asses.
Well, if you remove the letters from asterisk, you got ass. So
you can't spell asterisk without ass.
Lou, you got any final thoughts?
And never assume because you make an ass out of me. So
James, you got any final thoughts?
Nope, I'm glad to be back.
It's good to be the king.
But guys, it's been a great show. It's always great with these three on. You never know. You never know what we're going to say or what we're going to do.
Especially me.
Especially Lou. But guys, please, please, please check out the Enhanced Sports Show. It's a great show.
And stay away from Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having a mental health episode.
Especially if you're naked.
Stay away
Definitely.
and stay away from Granny.
And top it off with that
when Granny had one too many martinis,
Smirnoffs.
stay away from her.
Yes. Smirnoffs.
Oh no!
When
Granny had too many of them spiked eggnogs, you want to stay away from her.
Yeah.
But with that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all sticking with me. You know, y'all don't know how much that means to me.
Yes.
I have fun, man.
But
Yeah,
with that being said, I wish y'all a good night. Y'all be safe. And I'll see y'all next time. Same channel, same station, same BS.
Good night. BS.
Chat print, send it and go blue.
Night.